This is Vigalantee, the hip-hopologist for readingforrhymes.com in your black world. On the line, we have 360 Wiseguy. What's up, bro?
What's happening, my brother?
Not much, man. Just living this hip-hop life, trying to get to it. Hey, man, I want the world to know, man. Let me just preface by saying we have something in common with the Emmett Till thing, dealing with Erica Gordon Taylor. And I heard this brother music, and, man, it's outstanding. So kind of let people know, first off, why you call yourself 360 Wiseguy and your movement and your purpose of your music.
Well, first of all, 360 is a full circle, and you got to have both halves to make a complete circle. And then when you implement the Wiseguy, it's a turn off from that thug life and everything else that's going on. The whole goal and the whole setting is to be a wise guy in all areas of life. So I'll touch on everything. So it's 360 Wiseguy.
No doubt. So as you look at hip hop and, when you started doing your music, what made you go from Wiseguy and not follow the other path?
Well, just a little strategic assessment. Basically looking at the other paths, that's real easy. It's extremely easy to talk about nothing, especially when you're faking, or to talk about nothing and not be heard, because that's the majority of the industry is faking. So you might as well just go ahead and implement what you've been through for real, keep it real, and do it on a 360 wavelength. So 360 Wiseguy it is.
No doubt. How long have you been doing this professionally?
Professionally, I say I professionally implemented all guns loaded for, I'll say a good 8 years.
Okay. And that run of 8 years up until now, what have been to you the most hardest thing to get out there when it comes to dealing with the industry, also radio, and also being independent?
The hardest thing to get out there in regards to the industry itself and being independent is, I would say, for me to be somebody that I'm not, basically. It seems though it's a status quo to fit in to whatever they have going on mainstream. But you can't fit in because that's just for a hot second, and then they fill somebody else in. I'm not in here for somebody's tax write-off. I'm in here to touch the masses, and whether it's going to end up a tax write-off for myself or for a company, at the end of the day, it'll still be touching the masses. So there's still a long road to be successful, but this is test mode, and it's a lot of stress, Holmes.
I trust me, I definitely know the struggle of that. And do you think, because let's ride on that word stress, is it because DJs, who you think play the biggest role in conscious music or music that can elevate you being mainstream? Do you think it's just the industry itself, and the industry, when you break it down from a DJ to promoters to record labels and radio station, if you had to put your finger on one thing, could you, or is it all of the above?
I really believe it's all the above. But when you really break the science down, like A&Rs, at the end of the day, you got everybody running out here talking about their A&R. But, that's just like who's going to cop the best story and take it to the Associate Press. So you got the real ones that will push that we need you to hear this in the record companies, and then ultimately it's going to be a yay or a nay. The DJs themselves, they actually are grabbing from what's hot because they're trying to fill their pockets as well. Maybe they might break an artist here and there, but everything seems to be the same thing. So, I would actually say it's a full circle that needs to be broke through, definitely.
Definitely, I think it's definitely hurting the industry. Now, I was hearing some of your songs. Do you have anything out now? What is your do you have a new album out, or you just got a couple singles? Or I heard some tracks, and I kind of want the audience to know if you had to define your style, what would be your style, and what is your mission with your music?
Well, the style is definitely that Wiseguy music. My format is yellow line. You know, like as a youngster or however it is, you could be out on the street, and some drama can kick off, and we ain't talking about the bats and the gats. We talking about let's use our hands. So let's meet in the yellow line, right in the middle of the street. So my style is both sides. You implement what is so-called negative, and then you implement what's so-called positive, and then there we go with that 360 balance. So I'm right there. So I mash it all together. When it comes to what's out now, I mean, I have What's Gangster. That video is out. Got over 30,000 hits on that. But that was just a little toss out. Just, throwing some industry names out on that. It should be on iTunes and other distribution networks June the 11th. I have a whole vault full of songs, but I'm really concentrating on this one song called The Hold Up, which I'll be recording, inshallah, in about a week, and break it out in June. Calling Your Bluff, I got a video slated for production in about 2 weeks as well. That song is already out there.
Yeah, we definitely gonna pump it here on Your Black World and Reasons for Rhymes, man. So as we move this interview on, I've seen you on a couple of talk shows talking about different things, and you know what happened in the last couple of weeks with the PepsiCo thing and the Mountain Dew thing, Lil Wayne thing. What is your take on that, and what is your take on the direction of some of our black audience? Last week you heard Scarface talk about how the white men and white Jewish people are running hip hop, and they're older and they don't really know what they're really doing with hip hop. In maybe 20 years, he went on to say, hip hop won't even belong to us anymore, and you won't know who created hip hop, because as Scarface say that about time 20 years from now, you won't know anything but a white person created hip hop. Do you agree with that, or what direction do you see hip hop going right now?
If you look at history, when it comes to the blues, when it comes to jazz, when it comes to funk, it's definitely been a makeover in regards to the creators of that. And then if you follow history, I can't say yay or nay in regards to the statements that Scarface made. One thing I can say in regards to that interview that Face made is he threw that bait out there in regards to the old men that don't know the direction. However, they're trying to implement the new direction. The creators of hip-hop, those that love hip-hop, need to pay attention in regards to if they're going to switch the scenery and turn it into some pop-hop, well, then that means that pop-hop is not going to be talking about the kids being drugged out and dudes getting slumped on the street. It's going to be pop-hop. So if you don't want it to switch all the way over and you want to get it back to the grassroots of hip-hop, grabbing something that you can bounce to, something that you can learn from, something that you could remember, quote, or even go to a dictionary to, enhance your vocabulary, then you need to start pulling the trigger on these bammers that ain't saying it.
Do you think that, at a certain time in hip-hop, especially when you think about the 90s hip-hop and even the 80s hip-hop, do you think that our country, with a lot of stuff that's going on right now, do you think that it used to be a separation, I thought like in the late 80s and 90s, from Chuck D to the Poor Righteous Teachers, and you could name many, then you had Ghetto Boys, and you had, NWA, you had different branches of hip-hop. Do you think that the conscious or so-called conscious MCs are too quiet now? I think about, I know what we're doing, but you hear, the Mos Def Qualities, and even Chuck D. Do you think they're vocal, or is it, am I missing something? Because it seems to me that a lot of the MCs that, like when Wayne did that and, Rick Ross, are either scared to speak on something or just don't want to do that. Have we become too friendly when it comes to pushing the movement, and have the movement been, to me, stifled because of how hip hop is in its current state when you're dealing with so-called thug rap, trap rappers, gangster rappers that nobody really wants to start any beef or have any backlash on it? I know it's a long question, but what do you think?
Yeah, it's a long one. I mean, in regards to Mos Def and a lot of the other Poor Righteous Teachers and I can't even. I love Mos Def. Mos Def is he's a brand within himself. The lyrical content and when they implement messages in their music, Poor Righteous Teachers and joints from back then, I don't even see that right now. Like Talib Kweli, Lupe. See, Lupe got his own mob,
Yeah.
And he'll come straight out and say what's on his mind. Chuck D was just out there in Paris off that. Oh, you calling me a nigga? You got it messed up, So he.
Yeah, I love that track he had. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. See, now the mainstream, they're not going to be as vocal in regards to the same actions that Chuck D is pushing out there because he hadn't stopped. But it's just a younger crowd in regards to these Rick Rosses and these guys are, that's the difference. Like Pac said, you got rap and then you got hip hop. Hip hop is, meaning something, talking about something. The community. Rap is just anything for a check. Now, in regards to these artists that are so-called saying something, if they're trying to guard their check because of the corporate entities, well, then they in there for the check itself. Myself, it's like anybody can get it. I don't care who it is. We going all the way down. Period.
No doubt. And I think it needs to get back to that. I think any MC can get it when it comes to that because there used to be a sort of, let's say, unwritten rule about hip hop. Even you go all the way back, there was always an unwritten rule that MCs could get it. And I think that we're a little too friendly when it comes to this, especially when we're talking about a movement. I think hip hop needs to be more vocal. I understand loving the nostalgic moments and, propping up our MCs of the glory days, but I think sometimes we get caught up doing that so much and we forget about those rappers like you, myself, and other artists that's out there pushing, the same model, but yet everybody wants to be so in love with the past and they're not looking at there's MCs out there that's doing it. So I guess, the thing is with venues like Reason for Rhymes, I guess we can start reopening the doors for other artists because there's so many out there, man, that are putting in the work, and I think that we just have to bond together, man. Any last words you want to give to the audience of Reason for Rhymes, my brother?
Oh, you got to always check into the Reason for Rhymes. Big shout out to Dr. Boyce Watkins and also you, V. I really appreciate you reaching out to me, my brother. That 360 Wise Guy, that's my artist name, but it's actually a movement because we got wise guys and wise gals and wise kids all across the nation. So don't be afraid when you hear it because you're all part of it. It's the replacement of that thug life. And then the Change Your Posture movement. You look that up because that's all implemented. Thank you for listening.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm on Twitter at DC360 Wise Guy, 360 Wise Guy. The real 360 Wise Guy, just type in 360 Wise Guy, and I'm always here to interact.
Well, we're going to get you back on, man. I want to get you on kind of time to speak about some hip-hop issues and stuff, man. So I'd love to have you back. And, Dr. Boyce Watkins love that type of, insight, man. We want to show that our other MCs out here doing the work and putting in the work, man. I had to get you on to show people that, maybe some young kids let them know that they're not alone and we're here. The resistance is here, brother.
Yes, definitely. You better believe it. We're definitely right here. And, again, you got to remember, all the artists that you love, the Rosses and all of that, let's really look at it. Is it leased? Do you really own it? Why you propagating about it? If you really did it, would you snitch on your stuff? These are questions that need to be asked, and you really need to stop bouncing to the beat and listen to the lyrics and then formulate your own. Bottom line, 360 Wise Guys Worldwide publish the truth.
No doubt, no doubt. And we going to keep pushing it, 360 Wise Guy, no doubt. This is Vigilante for Reading for Rhyme and also Your Black World, and we are out.